Under 6 minutes to go in the third. RPI up 34-30. Matt Price, Cam Gasmer, Max Tanzer with us as well. Inez Ortea moving on the right side to her right, and a foul is called on Grace Cannon as it'll be an on-the-court foul, second foul of the period for the Bombers, and RPI will hold on to the ball as Nicole Dupras and Melissa Buxton are in for both teams. Dupras for RPI, Buxton for Ithaca.
I want to go back to that defensive play there by O'Malley to pretty much reach in and take the ball away, create that turnover, and create a basket for the Bombers. But she got to be careful with that as she couldn't get called for the reach-in foul.
Converse from behind the line, out to Sherry. Sherry in the left corner, out to Tomlinson. Tomlinson guarded by Volpe. Tomlinson off balance, no. Fight for the ball, and a jump ball is called. It'll go in Ithaca's direction, and guess who is there? Kara Volpe.
That was also Melissa Buxton on that play, fighting for that ball alongside Volpe to turn it over and go down the other way for the Bombers.
Big chance here for the Bombers to make it a one-possession game. It's Buxton off the pass from Gamboa. Buxton on the right wing, gets out to O'Reilly at the straightaway. Out to Volpe on the left side as a pass intended for Kellyanne O'Reilly is wild, a little too high. Went off the hand of O'Reilly and out of play. RPI takes over.
I like the thought process. I like the play there to try and set up O'Reilly down low in the paint. Ended up being too hard of a pass, but I like the thought process on the play.
About halfway through the third period, 34-30 RPI. It's Sherry at the left wing for the Engineers. Winner of this game plays in the conference championship tomorrow afternoon here at Ben Light Gymnasium. Here comes Sherry under the basket, guarded by O'Malley. Out to Dupras. Dupras fakes Buxton. Now out to Sherry. Sherry for a long three. Air ball as a foul is called with a shot clock at 5 seconds, and it's going to be on RPI. Fouls on Heather Converse. And the Bombers have a chance to make it a one-possession game once again, and we are going to have an official timeout with 4:50 to go in the third quarter. And with that said, we're going to set it down to Max Tanzer, who's got something for us. Max.
Thanks, guys. Bombers getting back into this one. Off the bench, Celia Tomlinson has been incredibly vocal, a captain and senior for this team this year. She's like an extra coach, shouting out positivity for this team, and now obviously just getting in. We'll see if she can play a big role, as she did hit that big buzzer beater last year against RIT in the postseason. Guys?
Absolutely, Max. And this is positivity is what always drives the Bombers, no matter what game they play, Cam. The Bombers always find a way to just keep going, no matter what the score on the board is, whether they're winning or whether they're losing, and that's key for any team who wants to win a sport, especially basketball.
And that's exactly what we're seeing right now down on the sideline, as we're seeing O'Reilly, Volpe, and O'Malley telling their team, let's go, we're still in this. We're down by 4. We can create a one-possession game here. We can go up by we can do a 3, or we can do a 2. It can be a one-possession game here. That's exactly what Coach Mary Kate Tierney is telling his team right now.
So if you're Ithaca, Cam, even though there's 4:50 to go in the third quarter, and look, correct me if I'm wrong to ask this early, but what should the Bombers go for here to make it a one-possession game? Should they go for a 2 if someone's wide open, or should they just go for a 3?
Go for a 2 if somebody's wide open. If somebody's wide open, obviously behind the arc, go for the 3. Why not? I want to see Yalman, as I said before, take those shots, but she hit a nice jumper from short range. So it shows that she can make the 2, and it shows that also that Cannon and O'Malley can make the layup and create that open space for Yalman to make that shot.
Buxton throwing it in to Gamboa as we come out of the timeout. 4:45 to go in the third quarter, 34-30 RPI. Here comes Gamboa going around Converse. Ball tipped by Lewis, but a great job by O'Reilly to keep her eyes on the ball. Out to O'Malley. Buxton for 3. No, off the side of the rim, but a great job by Gamboa to rush for the rebound. She's guarded by Converse. Gamboa now taking her time, moves out towards the center of the court. Moving to her left, now it's O'Reilly. O'Reilly out to Volpe at the top of the key. Gets out to Buxton, who gets it to a wide-open O'Reilly under the basket. O'Reilly with a beautiful reverse on her right side, and it's a 34-32 game. Bombers have made it a one-possession game, just like we talked about.
Exactly. We talked about that. O'Reilly's down open, down low, creating that layup. Nice little reverse sky hook there, and 1.
Lewis has it, moving to her left. Now inside the paint for RPI. It's Converse. To Dupras, as we're hearing chants of defense from the fans and the players themselves. O'Reilly with the steal. Out to Volpe. Volpe tried to save it, and she does. What a play! Out to Gamboa. Gamboa out to Volpe. Volpe moving to the left side, but the pass is taken away by Courtney Lewis, and for the moment, RPI has a chance to reset. Tomlinson out to Lewis. Lewis inside the paint with a two-pointer over Cara Volpe. That is good. And the lead is back to 4 for the Engineers as the RPI fans are starting to get loud on the other side of the court.
That's a miscue there by Volpe. You can't do that long pass when you're heavily guarded. O'Reilly was guarded by Tomlinson. You can't do that long pass, create those short passes to create the open man and take the shot.
O'Malley fakes the three. Now a shot for two. Top of the key. It's an air ball. And Buxton tried to hit it off of an RPI defender, and it does not pay off as RPI is able to get the ball with the clock continuing to run down. About 3 minutes to go in the third, 36-32 Engineers. Shot clock down to 20 as the Engineers, heavily guarded by O'Reilly. It's Lewis who has the rock. Now it's Sherry. Sherry in double coverage. And a travel is called as Brielle Sherry was fighting through double coverage. O'Malley and Gamboa right there in front of her, and just like that, Ithaca gets the ball right back with 2:53 to go in the period.
We got to see Ithaca take advantage of each possession. We're seeing a lot of miscommunication, a little bit of a sloppy play by both teams here, not just Ithaca or RPI, but Ithaca has a key advantage here, and you got to take it.
O'Reilly to Gamboa. Gamboa out to Buxton on the left corner. Now Albertelli back in the game for the Bombers. Albertelli in for Cara Volpe. Albertelli at the top of the key, gets out to Gamboa right toward us at the broadcast catwalk. Gamboa, guarded by Sherry. Gamboa out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly for three. Got them all! Kellyanne O'Reilly does it again, and this is a one-point game, the closest Ithaca's been all day long.
Beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. O'Reilly wide open down in the far corner. Create that three. Bang. Done.
Fans getting loud here at Ben Light, mostly on the Ithaca side. Ortea, guarded by O'Reilly. Ball knocked away by O'Reilly. Here comes Gamboa the other way. Chance for Ithaca to take the lead. Gamboa stops, and foul is called. A foul is called as the shot was missed. It looks like it's going to be on Brielle Sherry. And with that, the Bombers have a chance to tie and take their first lead of the game.
We're starting to see the Bombers play the way they played all season long and against Vassar last week, and creating those fouls, driving down low, taking shots when they're open. We're seeing it right now, and they're back in this.
Gamboa, a 68.2% free throw shooter, 15 of 22 on the year. Chance to tie right here. First shot is good. Perfect swish. It's a 36-36 game, and a timeout is called by head coach John Green of RPI. Fans are giving the Bombers a standing ovation as Ithaca is currently on a 12-6 run to start the third quarter, and 2:08 remaining in the period, might I add.
Gamboa created that whole sequence right there. She's going to get another shot from the line here, but she created those two fouls. She stopped, halted, waited to shoot, and it resulted in these two foul shots, and that's why they're tied right now, and they have a chance to take the lead.
While we have a moment, Cam, just want to remind everyone that tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, it will be the Liberty League Women's Basketball Championship, as either RPI or Ithaca will battle Vassar or St. Lawrence right here at Ben Light Gymnasium. Jeremy Goldstein and Brandon Ehrlich host the pregame, followed by Brett Mayerson, Matt Sossler, and Max O'Neill with the play-by-play. It's the Liberty League Women's Basketball Championship tomorrow afternoon, with the coverage beginning at 12:30, followed by the tip-off at 1 on our sister station, VIC, VICradio.org, and the Bombers Radio Network. Right now in our game, 36-36 tie, RPI and Ithaca, 2:08 remaining in the third. Gamboa will head back to the line coming out of the timeout with a chance to give Ithaca its first lead of the game, a lead that Ithaca has been longing for since RPI made the first bucket.
I think it's what Coach Raymond is telling them right now. We are in this. Stay together, play like you know how to play your game, and we're starting to see that right now as Gamboa's going to go to the line, and she created, again, that whole sequence.
Look at what Juliana Gamboa has done throughout this game. She is 1 for 4 from the field. She does have 3 points now if you include a free throw. She has a chance to make 4, but she's just been all over the place. She has 3 rebounds, 2 of them defensively, and a couple of assists, 1 steal as well. Here's Gamboa back of the line. Chance to give the Bombers the lead. She does, and the Bombers fans are loud as the Ithaca Bombers have a 37-36 lead.
It's exactly what they needed, exactly what they're looking for in a high-intense game like this.
Tomlinson, guarded by Albertelli. Tomlinson at the right post. Out to Sherry. Sherry guarded by Gamboa, who's now guarded by Albertelli. Ortea, guarded by O'Reilly. And a travel is called on Ortea as she tried to move in between double coverage on a pass to Celia Tomlinson, and the Bombers have the ball right back with 1:47 to go in the period.
Grace Cannon is coming back in now, for Melissa Buxton, and this is a great play great strategy by Dan Raymond to get Cannon in just as they're starting to heat up.
O'Reilly is heating up as she gets the ball to Gamboa. Bombers have been heating up the entire quarter. Albertelli at the top of the key, out to O'Reilly at the left wing, right in front of the Ithaca bench. Out to O'Malley. O'Malley, guarded by Hare, back in the game for RPI. Or excuse me, it's Converse. Converse is back in the game for RPI. Gamboa moving in from the right wing. Gamboa out to Cannon. Cannon, wide open three. No, off the side of the rim, but that was a much better three-point shot than we have seen Grace Cannon shoot today alone, Cam.
You're absolutely right, Matt. She had the open lane. Why not take the shot? She didn't get it. She's been off on her threes all season and in this one, but that's a perfectly fine shot to take.
Ball knocked away by O'Reilly as Ortega tried to get it back. Here comes O'Reilly the other way. She is fouled. Count it. And one. Kellyanne O'Reilly just energized the Bomber bench and this crowd in Ithaca as the Ithaca Bombers have a 39-36 lead. Chance to make it 40-36 as O'Reilly heads to the line. What a move by Kellyanne O'Reilly.
That's just smart basketball right there. She went up. She knew Ortega was right on her. She just went up, got the shot, and the foul. Beautiful play.
RPI trying to find an answer. They've only scored 6 points the entire quarter, while Ithaca has scored 15. Make it 16 as Kellyanne O'Reilly, who is a really good free throw shooter, 77% going into that attempt, has given the Bombers a 40-36 lead. Here comes Heather Converse, moving on the right side, inside the paint, out to Lewis. Lewis fell down. Cannon steals it. She's caught by Crumhar back in the game. Cannon, off balance, shot. It's good. Grace Cannon. She is heating up in the third quarter. Ithaca up by 6. Here comes RPI the other way. Cam, this is incredible.
Cannon needed that basket, and so did the Bombers. She gave it to her, and now she's going to heat up.
Grace Cannon is 5'10", Sam Crumhar 5'6", but they're almost evenly matched. Crumhar guarded by Cannon. Crumhar shot for three is good. Just the basket that RPI needed. That's Crumhar's third three-pointer of this game, and it's 42-38. Or excuse me, they ruled it a 2. Her foot was on the line. Now they have ruled it a 3. The scoreboard's playing games with us. 42-39 Ithaca. 10 seconds left. Shot clock turned off. Gamboa out to O'Malley. O'Malley snags it with one hand. Off balance, one right hand floater. It rattles in. 44-39. Buzzer sounds. That's the end of the third quarter. Cassie O'Malley completes an incredible performance by the Ithaca Bombers. Ithaca outscoring the RPI Engineers 20-9 in that period.
Now, WICB Instant Sports.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Price. We are continuing to follow breaking news. The New York Knicks have fired head coach David Fizdale. This move comes less than 24 hours after the Knicks' 37-point loss to the Nuggets, sliding the team to 4-18. New York also fired Fizdale's lead assistant coach Keith Smart. There's no word yet on who will serve as the team's interim head coach. Stay with 91.7 WICB with updates on this developing story. Here's a question. When was the last time the Ithaca women's basketball team lost 4 of its first 5 games of the season? If you said 2006, you're right. The Bombers will look to avoid that mark tonight when they travel to Bard for the first Liberty League conference game of the season. Heading into the contest, the Bombers have lost 2 straight. Eyes will also be set on senior Cassidy O'Malley as she is 24 points shy of tying Margot McGowan for 8th place on the Ithaca women's basketball all-time scoring list. Tip-off is scheduled for 5:30. While the women's team looks to avoid a 3rd straight defeat, the men's club hunts for a 3rd straight victory. The Bombers also meet Bard on the road. Senior Riley Thompson is averaging around 21 points per game, leading the Liberty League. Both teams will get in action immediately following the conclusion of the women's contest. The weather outside is frightful. East Hill hockey is so delightful. Cornell men's hockey at 9-0 is the only remaining undefeated team in Division 1. They look to keep it that way tonight. The Big Red travels to Massachusetts to face off against ECAC rival Harvard. Cornell is currently ranked 2nd in the nation behind Minnesota State, while Harvard is ranked 12th. This is a battle between the top 2 scoring teams in the conference. The first puck drop is set for 7 o'clock. There's one event on the docket tonight for Ithaca High School. The Little Red varsity ice hockey team hits the road to take on Rome Free Academy. The puck is set to drop at 7. Sticking with hockey, the Rangers host the Canadians at Madison Square Garden, while the Blackhawks and Devils clash in New Jersey. Don't forget to tune into Sports Talk this and every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. right here on 91.7 WICB with sports at 4:52. I'm Matt Price.
We have Matt Price with everything high school sports. Take it away, Matt.
Hey Emma and Dan, another week, another great round of action around Section 4. We begin with girls soccer, where one of the greatest traditions in high school sports continued this past Wednesday night in Corning. It was senior night for the Hawks as they look to end the regular season in memorable fashion against the Owego Indians. Let's travel to Corning Memorial Stadium for the highlights. The Hawks entered the contest ranked 18th in the state. Early in the first half, no goals on the board yet for either team. Freshman Ashley Volpe gets taken down as she approaches the net. That would set up a penalty kick for Lauren Giroux. You know the saying, she shoots, she scores. The ball goes off the hands of Owego's goalkeeper and gets inside the net, Corning up 1-0. Later in the half, take a look at this. Volpe on the fast break gets by the goalkeeper, and somehow, some way, she is able to find the angle and kick the ball to the back of the net to double the Hawks' lead. That deserves another look. How in the world did she pull this off? Wow! The Hawks on senior night fly high by shutting out the Indians 4-0, and Corning ends the regular season with a record of 8-4-1. On to some Friday night lights. Notre Dame football looked to remain undefeated as it traveled to Lansing for a showdown with the Bobcats. Let's head up Route 13 for the recap. The Crusaders looked for its fourth straight victory to start the year. We picked things up in the first quarter. Notre Dame quarterback Eric Charnetsky drops back and finds a wide open Steven Schmidt in the middle of the end zone. ND up 6-zip. Moving ahead to the second quarter, Lansing quarterback Ben Vincent says, "I can do better than that." He runs down the far sideline for a 15-yard rushing TD. Bobcats, just like that, take the lead 7-6. Notre Dame, though, responds quickly. Charnetsky finds Schmidt again, and look at him break two tackles, and he could go all the way. A spectacular touchdown reception right there. However, it was Lansing who got the last laugh. The Bobcats hand the Crusaders their first loss of the year by a final score of 31-28. Let's check out some other football scores from around the section. This past Friday, the Ithaca Little Reds suffered another loss on the road as the Binghamton Patriots came away with a 49-6 victory. Elsewhere, Horseheads running back Gavin Elston had a career night on Friday. He ran for nearly 350 yards and scored not one, not two, not four, but 6 touchdowns. I will say that again, 6 touchdowns in the Blue Raiders' 49-14 blowout victory over Vestal. The WGOM Seneca Indians shut out the SVEC Eagles on the road 27-0. And just yesterday, Una de la Valle rolled past Edison 51-6, and the Elmira Express had another large scoring day as it powered its way past Henninger 55-21. Elmira had a spectacular performance on the running side of things as the offense rushed for over 500 yards. Incredible! The Express have now won 5 straight games since losing its season opener. That is all I have time for this week. I will be back in 2 weeks to bring you more highlights and analysis. For the high school update, I'm Matt Price. Now back to the 2 All-Stars at the desk, Emma Fruling and Dan Pisani.